You're ready to quit that job. You're sick of the toxicity. You're sick of the lack of opportunity. You're sick of the everything about the job, and you are ready to go. Maybe you're ready to go not because of that. Maybe you're ready to go because you know what? You want to do something else. You want to change careers. Or maybe the job you took, what you liked at the time, is now not consistent with who you are. Maybe you've had a change in your life and it's not consistent with where you are then. Well, you're not alone. Millions of people in the United States quit their jobs every month. Don't worry about that. So, what we're going to talk about is the number one mistake I do not want to see you make when you are ready to make the move. The number one mistake I do not want you to make is to not put enough energy into where you are going. It can be very easy to talk about what's bad about where you are, all the reasons why it's bad, to find community in that, to talk to your friends and family about that. They will validate that, and you can talk and talk and talk. And the instinct is to just apply for another job, right? It's to dust off that resume, get on the internet, apply to as many job postings as you think about because you're just trying to get out of the situation. And maybe you should get out of that situation, but you must give enough effort to thinking about where you're going, not least because you might replicate the exact same thing. I'm a chief people officer. I've seen it. It happens. And it is really unfortunate because at the moment of changing a job or a career, that's the moment where you can do something bold. That's the moment where you can say, look, I'm not just going for, the money, the prestige. I'm going for what I really want, the job that is really me, because you deserve that. Okay. Now you may say, well, Alicia, that's all very nice and well and good, but how do I know that? I already know what jobs I can do. I've had jobs before. I'm okay at doing them. It's fine. But I think you deserve better than that. What does better than that mean? Well, I talk about that in terms of your North Star, right? We all know that the North Star is that star in the sky that is used for navigation, right? It's something that is personal for each of us. And we want to ensure that we're doing everything we possibly can to achieve our career North Star because it's who we are. It's who we are. So you may say, Alisa, okay, good. My North Star. I don't know what you mean by that. Say more. Okay, let's do that. So it's pretty simple. There are 5 components of this North Star. 5 components, and then you'll know what your North Star is. Number one, what are your needs? What kind of life do you actually want to have? Do you want to be a high earner and make as much money as possible and be willing to accept those trade offs? There are a lot of people who want to do that. Or are you somebody who really values their family life and wants to put a lot of energy into that and make sure that they have a career that's good and they want to do their best and they're going to add a lot of value? But for them, it's more important that personal piece. That's really, really key. Some people want to work in work cultures that are very collegial, where they hang out and there's pizza and all the things, and they're looking for that. Some people just want to go home, right? So you need to figure out who you are. What are your needs as it relates to your lifestyle and the kind of workplace that you want to work in, right? One, needs. Number two, your aspirations. When we were children, people would ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you would think, what do I want to be when I grow up? Well, guess what? We're now big kids, right? And we still have aspirations. What are those aspirations for you? I'm not talking about a job. How do you want to show up in the world? When it comes time for you to retire and you look back on what you did and that last job you had, and you say, yes, I knocked out of the ballpark. That is exactly what I wanted to do. What is that for you, right? Are you somebody who wants to be able to say, I created innovation in a certain space? I had an impact in this community, right? What is it for you? Nobody can tell you what it is. It's highly personal. But think about what you aspire to, because if you're not going in the direction of where you aspire to, uh, I don't know what to tell you, but that's not a situation that's setting yourself up for success and happiness. Okay, needs, aspirations. Next one, values, right? What are you willing and not willing to put up with, right? How important is it to you to have your values be aligned with the values of the company you work for or the values of the career that you're participating in? For some people, it doesn't really matter that much. They're more concerned with their personal life. They do their job and they go home, and that's fine. Some people are that way. Some people are very value oriented, and it's very, very important that there is close alignment between who they are and what their employer is about or how their employer shows up in the world. So give that some time and some thought. A lot of people make that last, and then they ultimately find out the reason why they're unhappy in the job or the job is actually making them sick is because they didn't think enough or value enough the values part of their North Star. So, needs, aspirations, values. Now, two more, interests. What, in fact, are you actually interested in? As chief people officer, it never ceases to amaze me how many people are in a line of work that they're not actually interested in. Some people tell them, well, I'll address my interests in my private life. And fair enough. It makes sense. You should. You should spend all your time doing things that you're interested in. But if you're doing something you hate, that's probably not a good idea. And it's not good enough to say, I'm putting up with this thing that I hate because at least I'm getting money, right? The North Star is a holistic thought. Give yourself a chance to say, what am I interested in? If you chose to become a lawyer, for example, and you find yourself at 11 p.m. on the 64th floor of a building working on a bankruptcy brief, and that is not something that you're interested in, you have to really interrogate why you are doing that, right? Now, some people love that. I know that there are people out there who are really, really interested in bankruptcy law, and that is their jam. And they should do that. But if that's not you, you need to ask yourself, why am I doing it? Is the reason good enough? Am I only doing it for the short term because I know my ultimate goal is to move to the thing I'm more interested in? We'll see. But spend time thinking about what your true interests are because you can get some or all of those interests met in your job and your career. Needs, aspirations, values, interests, and last of all, your strengths. What are your key talents? What are your skills? What's your interest? What are those things that are easy for you? What are those things that you're so excited to do? What are those things that people praise you for? They know you for that thing. It's what is uniquely you. And we should all be leaning into what is uniquely us because that's when we're going to be happy. And that's where we're going to add the most value. And that's when we're going to be the most productive. And any employer will want that from us, right? So, something perhaps controversial, I don't think it's very helpful to focus on skills that are very, very weak for you, right? They're not superpowers for you by any stretch of the imagination. But perhaps your employer or other people say, oh, you just need to work on that, invest, put the time in, whatever. But the thing is, you're not good at it and you don't like it. So even doing all of those things, probably the best you're going to do is become mediocre. And now you're mediocre amongst a bunch of people for whom that's where they shine. They're amazing at it, right? Which can then cause imposter syndrome and it cause you to feel bad about yourself and all these things and take time away from you doing the thing that you should do, which is lean into your superpower because that is who you truly are. So those are the 5 elements of your North Star. And you should figure out what your North Star is to use it and understand as you sit now in the job you have now, how far away are you from it? And how fulfilled are you as a result of that? Now you may say, Alicia, how are you going to do that? Well, I got you covered. Take the quiz that you'll find in the description. Very easy. A free 5-minute quiz. It's called the Career Fulfillment Quiz, right? And it will give you a score looking at those elements of your North Star and give you a measure of how fulfilled or not you are in your job and in your career, right? It may confirm what you already think, which is, I got to get out of here. It's not meeting any of my needs. Or you may find that it's meeting all of your needs except one. Or you may find that it says you are not very fulfilled and you're out here thinking, I thought I was. And maybe that means you're settling. And maybe that means you should do something, right? Maybe that means you should do something. Okay. So go ahead and find out where you are. Okay. You deserve to be in alignment with your North Star. It's not just a job and a paycheck. It can be so much more than that. And you deserve so much more than that. So take the quiz. And if you want to go deeper more quickly, book some time with me and we can talk about how you can accelerate that so you can get along the path that you deserve to be on. People who are already ready to quit, and if that's you, you can find out more about that in the video above.